It's going to develop fast. It's going to be very scary. It's going to be very disruptive. It's going to turn everything you thought you knew upside down. And I have faith that humanity will find a way through. I'm not quite. I don't think you can ignore it any more than you can ignore air power, machine guns, or nuclear weapons. I don't think you can ignore it, but I don't think anybody really understands the profoundly disruptive revolutionary implications yet.
And there we have it from Michael Saylor. He's telling you about Bitcoin. Most people don't understand how big Bitcoin is going to be, how it's going to revolutionize the world, and how it's going to change how we do things on a day-to-day in our current banking system. We'll hear more from Michael before this video is out, so make sure you watch this one to the end. Before we get to any of that, make sure you go ahead and check us out at Bitcoin Bros 26. Where there's crypto enthusiasts talking crypto every single day. We appreciate the support from every single one of you. If you guys want some more exclusive content, go check out the Bitcoin Bros at Patreon, patreon.com/Bitcoin Bros. You'll find the link in the description below. Getting straight into it and taking a look at the Bitcoin price chart. Bitcoin at the current time of this recording is coming in at 26.5. What do we anticipate? What do we think is going to happen with Bitcoin? Well, this is Bitcoin on the weekly chart, and looking down at the RSI below, we're okay. We're all good. If we zoom out and look at this, Bitcoin could come down a little bit more, actually. And as you see, this level on the RSI is around the 52 level. Could we come a little bit lower before having this reversal pattern and still put in a higher low? Most definitely. This is the range we have to take a look at. We could come down to that 25 to 26 range before we have a continuation to the upside. But there's some breaking news. JP Morgan CEO says more bank failures are likely from commercial real estate losses. There's been lots of small businesses that were forced to take out EIDL and PPP loans. The PPP loans have been forgiven. When small businesses are feeling the pressure because of the economic slowdown, we're having all the rate hikes. We had the most aggressive rate hikes in 2022. So what that happens is takes money out the system. It makes people feel poorer. If there's no more money, small businesses are no longer able to pay their rents and their profit margins shrink. Peter Schiff saying nobody's money is safe in the bank. A lot more banks are going to fail. This is just reality. The small regional banks are the ones that are going to be failing because of the commercial real estate debacle. You have an option, and that option is Bitcoin. Even with all this happening, you see that Bitcoin has a higher market cap than Visa. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Bitcoin is here to stay. And over the next 10 years, Bitcoin will have an exponential adoption rate. We'll hear from this more from Michael Saylor talking about this. And right now, we have a huge opportunity. Read this tweet. I'm fairly convinced that if you leveled the playing field and gave everybody $25,000 to start, then within 5 years, most people who are currently rich would be rich again, and those who are currently broke would be broke again. Not all, but most. This is mindset. This is if you differentiate yourself from the pack and do different stuff. A lot of people are still sleeping on Bitcoin. They may have heard about it. They may have heard and think that it's a Ponzi scheme because of the FTX debacle and a couple exchanges blowing up last year. But all in all, Bitcoin is going to be that revolution over the next 10 years. Are you ready? Are you prepared? And then looking at the Bitcoin charts, we see an expanded flat correction into an impulse. And this mimics what Amazon did back in the 2010s. You see we have this expanding flat, this one ABC correction, ABC to the upside, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside, then the run up. Well, look at first leg, ABC, run up. First leg, ABC. Well, look what's about to happen. Are we going to see this rump to the upside with Bitcoin in the near future? Looks like this could be in the cards. The fresh red flash on-chain fee congestion is very bullish. Red means elevated fee congestion, which means a parabolic move. So every time we flashed red, what happens? A parabolic run. Every single time, parabolic run. Every single time, parabolic run. So the question is, how long is this run going to last? Is this one going to last a year? It's going to be multi-year. Is it going to be quick? Is it going to be sudden? We see this on the Bitcoin dominance as well. The Bitcoin dominance is also flashed green on the Gaussian channel. And we've showed you this in previous videos. Right now, we see the dominance having somewhat of a retracement back down to 47. Could we come back down to this level, the 46.5 level? Could we even come lower down to the 43 level? Most definitely, but all in all, this Gaussian channel, we actually could come back up and flip this to resistance before having that bounce up to the upside. All in all, bullish for Bitcoin. An update from TA Trader Allen. Bitcoin has used a form triangle ascending or symmetrical in 16 months prior to the next halving. And all of these lead up to the halving, halving, and look at this. Are we going to have that run up to form this triangle? Is this how high we're going to go? Are we going to run up to this roughly $65,000 threshold before running into the halving and then ultimately seeing that major blast off with Bitcoin going into 2025? That could be what's in the cards. Another update from TA Trader Allen. Bitcoin is moving in cycles. No matter how you name it, the patterns are there. Every single time you have the retracement, 8 bars, these are months because we're on the monthly chart. 8 months, then a blast off. Come down, 6 bars, then a blast off. Come down, 8 bars. How high is this blast off going to go after the halving? Nobody knows, but all in all, this is definitely bullish once again. And without further ado, let's hear from Michael Saylor and what he sees happening over the next 10 years. Let's hear from Michael.
iPhone 3 was the first version of the iPhone where you said, wow, this operating system is going to compete with the web. And iPhone 1 and iPhone 2 were toys, and iPhone 3 was real. And then what happens next is Apple stock 10x's and the world changes and billions of people adopt mobile phones. I think we're at that moment, that inflection moment, the first 12 months. I think the next 10 years is a sprint. There's going to be this massive Cambrian explosion of ideas, and people are going to push the envelope. I don't think you can stop it. I mean, I think people will try to regulate it. It's not going to work to regulate it because there's going to be some country or some corporation that's going to have an economic or a political interest in pushing this. It's going to develop fast. It's going to be very scary. It's going to be very disruptive. It's going to turn everything you thought you knew upside down. And I have faith that humanity will find a way through. You know, I'm not quite, I don't think you can ignore it. I don't think anybody really understands the profoundly disruptive revolutionary implications yet. The only mistake would be not to be paying attention. You should be investing time and energy to conceptualize how you do what you do, and then reconceptualize what your customers are doing and how they might do it differently, and try to work your way down the value chain and try to figure out what gets dematerialized and what is the national rational response. And if you can figure that out 36 months or 24 months before anybody else, right, then that makes all the difference.
And there you have it from Michael Saylor. What he's referencing here is understanding what Bitcoin is going to be, understanding how the world's going to digitize over the next 10 years, and understanding Bitcoin's role in this revolution.